up your bedroom decor with a pair of contemporary bedside tables. Slip into the lap of luxury by turning a plush pillow into a portable lap desk. Plus, turn a cigar box into a smoking place to store your jewelry.
Oh, look out! Here she comes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, she's she's crafty.
Bedside tables serve some very important functions, like being just the right height when I hit the snooze button every morning 10 times. But form is as important as function. I want tables that scream European chic. I just don't want a screaming chic European to design them for me. I'm gonna make them myself at a fraction of the cost. Are you Matt?
Yes.
I'm making some bedside tables, and I'm trying to figure out what material to work with.
MDF would probably be the best
Right.
option to go with, just because it's fairly easy to work with.
Yeah.
So that's what I would recommend.
Okay, cool. Well, I've got the measurements. Let me hook you up with that.
Sure.
And I'll be back in a bit.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, thanks, Matt. I love modern design, clean and simple. I'm gonna make these modern bedside tables with my sister, Toby.
You're still looking at me.
I know. Well, little lady, we need to make some new bedside tables because the ones I have are looking a little dated. And we're using MDF. And MDF is medium density fiberboard, less expensive than wood, and comes in varying thicknesses. And we're basically using 4 pieces of it to create a box.
Okay.
And then 1 more piece as the backing. We're gonna glue this together first, and then we'll end up nailing it together.
Okay.
And you could use wood glue for this, but I'm using a strong, clear-drying white glue that works just as well.
So how did you figure out the sizes of each piece?
I used my current bedside table as a template, just so I know exactly what would fit in the space that I have.
Right.
Got that?
Yeah.
I'm gonna glue this other side.
Okay.
But it really needs to be squared up. And if you're working on this project on your own, you could use clamps to keep it together, but I think it's always fun to have an extra person around to give you a hand. Good sister bonding time.
Exactly.
We just need to hold it for a few minutes until it sets, and then the glue will be dry in about an hour.
And so will this have legs on it?
No, actually, we're gonna mount this to the wall.
Oh.
And that's kind of cool, because then it leaves the floor space below it free and clear.
Yeah.
So that looks like it's set. Now we just need to pre-drill holes for the finishing nails.
Okay.
Safety first. Do the other side.
Okay.
Even though we've already glued the pieces together, a nail in every corner will make it even stronger.
Right.
I'm gonna use the nail set.
Okay.
That way it alleviates leaving a hammer mark on your MDF.
Oh, makes
Yeah.
sense. It's a handy tool.
Yeah, the nice guy at the hardware store hooked me up with that. Okay, now we'll place this squarely onto the backing.
Great idea.
Just get it lined up evenly on the sides. Then 2 inches from the top edge and 4 inches from the bottom.
Okay.
And then we mark it so we know where it goes once we've glued it.
Right.
Do you want to hold that for me?
Okay.
So we'll just give it a press. So now we need to fill the holes with some wood filler.
Okay.
And that just gives the MDF a nice, smooth finish. Okay, so we just need to let this guy dry, and then we can sand off the wood filler.
Break time.
No, we still have another part to do. Here's a little rock star glam for you. Inspired by a designer watch I saw, I've got one of my old watches and a little piece of faux fur and my trusty glue gun. And you just cut a piece of faux fur the length of your strap, and then remember to cut a hole in the back so you can still get at the battery. Put a little bit of glue on the back of the strap and slap that faux fur down. It's perfect for that karaoke night out, you rock star you.
She's crafty.
There are some things a girl just can't live without. And essential for my craft kit are tweezers. These babies are special crafting tweezers that you can pick up at the, you guessed it, the craft store. And check this out, these are reverse grip tweezers. Instead of pinching them closed, they're already closed and you pinch them to open. So they're great for super small stuff like sequins and beads. But really, in a pinch, regular old tweezers will do just fine. Give your bedroom a style update with the clean, sleek lines of these bedside tables. We glued 5 pieces of MDF together and then hammered in some finishing nails for added strength. A few dabs of wood filler will help finish off the nail holes. Okay, so the wood filler's dry, so now we can sand that off, and you've got this cute little sanding block there. We're just gonna spray a little bit of water on there, and what that does is it helps lubricate the sandpaper and gives it a nice smooth finish. So just lightly sand the corners, and it just gets any excess particles and dust off of it. That works well. All right. You ready for some paint?
Oh yeah.
Okay. And we have to prime these first because MDF is so absorbent that if you just went right to it with the paint, it would probably take about 5 or 6 coats. So put some primer on it, save yourself some time.
This paint tray and these brushes are so tiny. Where'd you get them?
You can just get them at the hardware store. They come in a kit. Very handy, very inexpensive. Gonna get that side and I'll do it. All right, so we'll just use these cute little foam brushes for each of the corners. Okay, these bad boys are ready for some paint.
Okay.
So can you open that can of paint for me?
Sure. This looks like chocolate fondue.
Wanna make me some? Well, I guess I owe you big time for helping me once again.
I don't mind.
Oh, good. Phew, well, we're done.
So how do you mount these to the wall?
Well, all I need to do is pre-drill some holes and then hold it up to the wall, countersink some screws, and then I'm gonna cover it with wood filler and a little paint, and you'll never know how it got on there. It's like a floating shelf. Do you ever feel like you can never get away from the office? Well, if that's true, we might as well be comfortable, right? That's the idea behind this cute little lap desk. You can do your work anywhere, and your lap will thank you. So for this little projet, I'm starting with a tempered glass cutting board that I got at the department store for about $6. And they've got these cute little protective feet on the bottom, but we don't need them for this project, so I'm gonna just pop those right off. And the other part of this is getting a pillow. So I went on a little bit of a mission to find a pillow that was the same size as my cutting board, 12 inches by 15 inches, which is about 30 by 38 centimeters. I don't think they make pillows that size, because I looked high and low and couldn't find a thing. So I almost resorted to making myself a custom pillow, but to save some time, I settled on a pillow that was 15 by 15 inches, which is 38 by 38 centimeters, and it works just as well. And all I need now is my trusty glue gun to glue the cutting board right to the pillow. And I'm starting at the bottom edge of the cutting board here. You just tuck the trim of the pillow right onto the side of the cutting board. And I'm just gonna continue going along this side about 1 inch at a time, 2.5 centimeters. And the thing I love about this craft, it's so easy. It's a 10-minute craft. We love that. So that's one side done, and you just do exactly the same thing on the other side. And then this pillow is actually really great to work with because it has piping all the way around it. And that way I can tuck the piping right up to the edge of the cutting board. It sits really nicely and gives a great finished look. And the glue gun is great because it dries really quickly. but you could also use a clear drying craft glue. It'll just take longer to dry. My cutting board is attached to my pillow, and the last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add these adorable drawer pulls to my lap desk. These are gonna be used as a pen holder. I'm gonna try them up in this corner as well. That kind of gets the pen right out of the way. A little bit more hot glue on the bottom. And I really recommend trying to find a drawer pull that has a flat bottom. Stick that right down there, and that holds instantly. Love hot glue. And then the last one, and that one's on there. Let's test the pen out, see how that works. Oh, I'm loving this. So in 10 minutes, you've got your own portable lap desk. So now all you need to do is sit back, relax, and oh yeah, get to work. What the heck is vellum, you ask? Well, it was originally a writing surface made thousands of years ago with calf skin, and that version is still used for drum heads and lampshades. Today's version is made of cotton fibers, and you can get it at any art supply store. It comes in a variety of colors, and it's great for card making, wedding invites, birth announcements, scrapbooking. It's also great for tracing because of its translucency. Phew, hope that clears that up.
Go girly. Turn a plain old cigar box into a stylish way to store your bling.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She's crafty.
If there was a queen of crafts, it would be Leah Kramer. She's been crafting since she could hold a pair of scissors. She writes about crafts, runs a store that sells crafts, and has her own web forum on, yeah, you guessed it, crafts.
Well, Leah, I'm happy to see that I'm not the only one that's collecting cigar boxes, but you've been actually putting them to good use.
Yes, after hoarding them for a long time, I finally decided to pull them out and start making things out of them. They're so beautifully made and
I know.
sturdy, and then they might get thrown out if you don't give them a good home. So the nice thing about it is that oftentimes, the cigar shops are just giving them away, and they're just, so if you didn't take them, they would go into a landfill somewhere.
Exactly. We're recycling. We like that. So what are we going to do with these cigar boxes?
Today we're going to make jewelry boxes out of cigar boxes.
Okay, good.
It's a great craft because you can really do you can make a lot of gifts for other people out of these cigar boxes, and you can personalize it however you want, any color scheme, any kind of decoupage, any style you can think of. And then, of course, you're going to want to make a couple for yourself.
It's true. It's true.
So I have these great cedar wooden cigar boxes.
Yeah, they're
which
beautiful, and they smell amazing.
Yeah, and these come from the convenience store right around the corner from me. And but cardboard, which you see often, will also work just as nicely.
They do, okay, because that's what I have, is all cardboard.
So the first thing that you want to do with these nice wooden cigar boxes is take the metal hinges off. You don't have to do it, but it's a little easier than trying to paint really carefully around them.
Right.
So I find it easier to just take them off, and then
smart.
it looks really professional when you put the hinges back on.
Well, that's a good tip.
Just pry them off with a small screwdriver. And what we're going to do is we're going to paint it.
You use the
Paint cup here.
Those are adorable.
Yeah,
I love
they look
that.
like little muffin cups.
Yes, I wouldn't even have
Fun.
thought of using that. Where do you get these? Are these from the craft store?
Yeah, they're in the kids' craft supply section, for
they're
all the messy finger painting projects and so forth.
And so we're just using just acrylic craft paint
Yeah,
here?
just acrylic craft paint, the kind that you find zillions of fun colors.
And so does it matter what size of, you call them sponge brushes, I call them foam brushes?
I usually
Does it
start with a
matter?
big wide one, and then when it comes to little corners and so forth, I just move to a smaller one.
Looks like that's done.
So now we're going to paint the outside some really fun colors.
Oh, cool.
And what I like to do lately is pick a nice earthy tone and then get a splash of some really vibrant color to go with that.
Sounds great.
So the fun, bright color goes on the lid.
Oh, all right. How old were you when you started crafting?
Ever since I can remember, I would say ever since I could hold a pair of safety scissors.
So do you find that the wood is pretty absorbent? Does it need a lot of coats?
Really just 2 good thick coats seem to do
Okay.
it, and then maybe a little touching up here and there if you see any bare spots. So once the boxes are dry to the touch, what we want to do is add some, like, a little bit of polished look to this by covering the very inner ledges with some decorative paper.
Oh, nice.
And you could pick, like, what I have is something that looks like faux leather. And this is really simple, and it just gives it such an interesting polished look. What you want to do is measure the width of this inner ledge.
Okay.
And it looks like it's a little bit more than 1/4 inch or 8 millimeters. Now we're just going to cut nice long strips and then we'll fit the inner ledges. It's good to be a little bit wider, if anything, than a little bit too narrow. We're just going to cut nice long strips and then we'll trim it later. So I'm going to cut 8 of these. Okay. One for each of the sides of the inner ledge there. Take a little small brush and just dab the glue all along one edge. Okay. Lay the strip of paper down and smooth it on, and then just trim the ends so that it fits perfectly. Sometimes little bubbles can come up. You just want to kind of smooth it down a few times just so it doesn't get bubbly.
Okay. How's that looking?
Wonderful.
Okay, good.
All right. So now, put the box back together and just pop the hinges back.
Now, can you buy different hinges?
Oh, you can actually. You can go to a craft store and you can find a good selection of this kind of thing, but a woodworking store will have even a bigger selection of clasps and like all different finishes and styles.
Oh, that's great. Okay. I mean, this is harder than it looks.
It's a good idea to make a specific note of what hinge came out of what little location, because then it'll go back easier into the same
very
spot that
clever.
it came out of.
Oh, and you're already done.
I've done it a few times.
I'll just be over here for a second. Well, it looks like our cute little jewelry boxes are almost done. What do we do next?
Yeah, it's taking shape, but we have a few more fun things that we're gonna do.
If you love shoes as much as I do, you end up with a lot of empty shoe boxes. Instead of throwing them out, repurpose them into instant storage containers for your craft supplies. They're sturdy, they're stackable, and talk about instant organization without costing a cent. Love that.
She's crafty.
They used to hold cigars, but once we've had our way with them, they'll be storing jewelry. To glam them up, we painted them with gorgeous jewel tones. A few more pretty touches, and they'll be ready for the bling.
It's kind of fun if you're going to use this as a jewelry box or a makeup box to put a little mirror inside and then have some ribbon that holds it at, you know, an angle back.
Oh, very
so you can,
smart.
It's perfect for admiring your jewels as you try them on. So let's do the ribbon first. What I'm going to do is just sort of hold it back at the angle that I would like it and measure. I think that's a good angle right there, and that's about 11 inches or 28 centimeters for the length of the ribbon. So you want to cut 2 pieces of that size.
All right.
Teamwork.
Teamwork. Love that.
And then what I like to do is when I cut ribbon, I like to dabble just a little bit of white glue on the ends so it doesn't fray. And it'll dry clear, you won't even be able to see it.
Great.
So the next thing we need to do is attach this ribbon to the top and bottom corners. And we're going to do it with little tiny nails. You can also use little screws. I found these nice little silver nails.
How do you like my cute little hammer?
It's adorable. Why not have a pretty hammer?
That's
you
right.
have to have a hammer. So now what we're going to do is put the mirror in next. And I have these fun round mirrors. You just dab a little hot glue on the back of the mirror in a few different places. And then just put it right smack dab in the middle.
Oh, this looks so cute.
It really adds something.
And where do you get these? Just at a craft store? Or?
Yeah, they're right in usually where all the woodworking supplies are.
Okay.
The circle would go well with our eventual polka dot motif.
Oh, yeah, perfect. Looks great.
Now we're almost done.
Oh,
Just to
okay.
have one more step.
Oh.
What we're gonna do next is decorate the top, and I thought some polka dots would be fun. We're gonna use some rubber stamping methods to get some polka dots on the top of the
I haven't
box.
stamped in ages.
What I find is that when you're doing rubber stamping, you don't want to like press too hard into the stamp because then you get the ink all in the grooves of the stamp.
Right.
So you want to kind of just dab the ink on lightly, but then when you're actually applying the stamp, then you can push down hard. But just don't push down hard in the stamp pad.
Good tip.
I'm just gonna do some random polka dots.
I just love that they've got foam brushes just for polka dots. They're adorable.
Oh yeah,
So cute.
yeah, it's fun because it's totally random and you can't mess up. It's polka dots. Some of the great things about this motif and using these rubber stamps and these little tools is that you do not have to have a steady drawing hand, which I do not have.
Me either.
So I'm always looking for ways to fake that.
That's great.
You want to go sort of twist it back and forth as you're dabbing so you get a little bit of coverage.
Good to know.
These look really cute when they're done, and it takes, I would let it dry overnight before you kind of like touch the stamped surface.
Okay. Should we be sealing this with anything?
Can. I thought it looked nice just at the matte finish, but you can use any kind of craft sealer that you want. Yeah.
Well, this is great. I love it. Well, thanks, Leah.
Thank you.
You can come over anytime and craft with me.
Sounds great.